the inner work of visionary entrepreneur. Yes, visionary entrepreneur, inner work of successful entrepreneur. Why I choose this topic? Because for me, success starts with vision, with big vision. And today we have so amazing experts, everyone I love so much. And of course, everyone got attracted. And we have heart-centered community of world-class experts who joined the Circle of Fame with a big mission, with big passion to share the knowledge and passion with the world, to make this world a better place and help driven owners, business owners and entrepreneurs to live life with fulfillment. And all our experts bring their best to share with you who listening to us, who watching us, the best from their life experience, what they learned, and here we are to serve you. So before we start our panel discussion and come to the questions which we created to discuss today, I would like to introduce that every one of our panelists will introduce himself shortly. And then we have amazing questions and looking forward to learn from everyone. And at the end of panel discussion, we also will share our aha moments which we took here from this event. So who would like to start introducing yourself? Okay, Christine, please.
Thank you, Elena. Good evening, everyone. Good morning, wherever you are in the world. I'm Christine Best. I empower leaders and teams through wellness in totality, using my Liberate system, a blueprint to wellness. Now, my point of difference is that I'm also a songwriter, and I use my inspirational songs to reinforce the messages that are in my presentations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Christine. Great. Parveen.
Hello, my name is Parveen Smith. I am the founder of something called AOT, and Angels of Transformation saved my life 20 years ago. And I'm so honored to be here. And it's been an amazing gift for me to have to myself, but also to share it with the world.
Thank you so much, Dr. Enika.
Sorry. Hi, I'm Dr. Annika from Sweden. I'm a medical doctor with 35 plus years in family medicine, and the last 15 years also being a speaker and mentor in stress management for the leadership people in business. And coming from a tax-paid system where everything is served, I had in the beginning of my career to work a lot with my inner work mindset on how to get clients and how to get paid as an entrepreneur, because that's all given when you work in a tax-based system. Thank you.
Thank you, Vangelis. Vangelis, you're muted. Unmute, please.
Hello, I'm Vangelis Kalohiro from Greece. That's where I was born. I've been in the technology corporate world for over 40 years. And during that time, I just organically got into technology, science, biology, spirituality. So the inner work is a lot of what I've been doing now in the corporate world. So thank you.
Great, great. Happy to have you with us today. Daniel.
Hello, my name is Daniel Cobrina. I'm a high-energy, heart-centered life and business coach, international motivational speaker, and host of a podcast called Redesign Your Life Today.
Great to have you here, Daniel.
Thank you.
Dr. Annelie.
Yeah, good morning. I'm in Canada, West Coast Canada, and I'm a therapist, I'm a coach, and I'm the founder and CEO of the International Metaphysical Academy. I've been doing this for 17 years, over 30 years actually I started, and I'm just delighted to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much. Lyndon.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lyndon Thorpe. I'm a somatic embodiment mentor. One of my business pursuits is working through the body. So I engineer and encourage transformation from the inside out.
Amazing. So good
Thank
to
you very
have
much. I'm very
you.
glad to be here.
Looking forward to learn from you so much today. Great. So we have also Ricky. Ricky.
Hi, so great to be here. I'm Ricky Lee Travolta, and I do a lot. I make #1 brands, and I turn celebrities into celebrity brands. I've created #1 brands in a number of industries: telecommunications, technology, healthcare, home improvement. I make hundreds of millions or billions of dollars for people. I don't like being the CEO. I like helping people. I'm known as America's friend because I will stop on the street and give free advice to small business owners, because I think everybody should have the American dream even outside of America. America's friend is a term that I was given in America by a journalist. I'm actually about helping everyone around the world. And I use my business acumen to form partnerships to help others, other great leaders. And here's kind of a fun thing. I started off my career, I did the research and part of the ghostwriting for A Lifetime of Riches, the official authorized biography of Napoleon Hill, researching and having access to his private works and papers, which lends itself to a lot of what we're talking about here today.
Thank you so much, Ricky. And of course, you're not only a friend of America, you are a friend of the world, because you have such a beautiful soul and a passion to help people and share with them your knowledge and wisdom. Thank you so much for being here today. And we have Will Steele.
Hi, everyone. I'm Will Steele. I'm a leadership and business performance coach, and I coach leaders to get out of the way, whatever's stopping them, holding them back from taking the actions they know they need to take and they're not taking.
Great. Thank you for being with us today, Rich Kozak.
Good morning. Great to be here again. Nice to see everyone. Some phenomenal people here. So everyone is created by the same creator with gifts, and there's a reason we're here. A lot of people spend a lot of their time in their life running towards things that others tell them are important. When they finally settle down and they reach into their heart and they get serious about the impact they really want to make, they struggle with how to say it, what to do. So after 48 years of defining and languaging brands for big companies, for the last 10 years, I focus only on individuals to help them get the clarity, bake the clarity into how they say what they do, the language, the way they show up, the books they write, the podcasts they write, the speeches they write, the way they create a legacy, and help them step into their divine purpose, which is not what people think of branding, but that's what I get to do. So praise God.
Thank you, Rich. It always is great to have you with us. And we have also Alan Edwards.
Hi, Elena. Hi, everybody. I'm Alan Edwards from Hampshire in the UK, and I'm a property investment and development expert. And I essentially take property problems, we transform the value of property, and we thereby create wealth and create profits for investors. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I'm totally agree with Rich, who told that we have phenomenal people here, and we have this collective wisdom and knowledge and experience. All of amazing experts who are in our panel discussion has so much to share with the world. And people who are listening to us, if you're listening to us, make notes, because you are going to learn a lot from this panel discussion. And we will move now to our questions. And before we start question, of course, I would like to tell about the mission of the Circle of Fame. Circle of Fame has the mission is to help experts who have a lot to share with the world, connect with people who are looking for their wisdom, to their knowledge. And Circle of Fame is here to provide people with everything what is necessary for their success, for their fulfillment. Driven business owners and entrepreneurs can find every answer to their questions in our panel discussions, because our experts bring the best. And of course, you can connect with each or everyone or who you resonate with, and look how you can work with our experts to get where you want in life. And I appreciate everyone who is here, that you have this passion and you put your time and your heart to be members of the circle, because we are here for so big things, which we can complete only when we are together. So now we are moving to our first segment, and I will ask you a question. What is the single most important mindset shift that propelled your business growth? Who would like to share the single most important mindset shift that propelled your business growth? Alan.
Hi, Elena. Yes, the single most important mindset shift that I had when I set up my company was to actually decide that I wanted to form Alpus Group, which is my group of companies, and also to decide that I was capable to do it, because I'd seen firsthand the way that lots of big companies operate, and I felt there was a need for a company that filled a particular void in the marketplace, which is to take total control of a project and actually take on board risk, which some consultants are very risk averse, and other contractors are motivated by profit and their shareholders. And we operate in an open book way, so that clients get the benefit of having expert advice, and also the benefit of a known commitment in terms of cost and time. So this is the unique selling proposition that we've got, and it was the fact that I decided that we could do it that was the main mindset shift. Thank you.
Wow, thank you for sharing. Yes, believe in yourself. Yes, have faith in God and believe in yourself that you can do it and take the first step. Great, thank you for sharing, Alan. Who else will?
Yeah, so the single most shift in mindset that propelled my business forward was when my coach said, you need to double your fees, you're not charging enough. And I felt very uncomfortable when I was in a call with a prospect and saying that amount of money for my fees. And so the shift that happened was I got to get my, you hear this phrase, get yourself out of the way. You need to get yourself out of the way. So I kind of imagine myself, like literally put my hands up like that. So there, just take myself out of the equation. There's this guy here who's coached people for 25 years, and I've seen this guy get somebody at the microphone and in 20 minutes completely transform this person's life. Wow. And I get to speak to that guy for an hour a week. Wow, I'd pay that for sure, for a whole 12 months, and I get to speak to this guy for an hour every week for 12 months. I'm in. And so it just allowed me to take out all the about me. It's not about me. It's about what the body of knowledge is that this skin, back, bones here represents and can make available and impact in the person's life I'm talking to. So that mindset shift, where it's not about me, it's about them and what difference can be made over there, made the biggest difference in moving my business forward, because doubled my fees and and was freed up in the conversations.
Great. The value which you provide, yeah, to know that value equivalent. Great. Rich.
Thanks, Will. That's great food for thought. For me, it was an aha moment. I used to think it was my skill. And there was an aha moment when I realized I felt things coming through me. Like, did I say that? And I realized it's a gift. And when I realized it's a gift, it felt like love, not like work. And I realized it's not about me. It's not about putting me in lights. It's about helping others and using the gift. And so I help others do that as well, which is a blessing. Huge for me.
Thank you. Lyndon?
Okay. Well, yes, my big shift was 2 years ago. I've spent most of my life as an educator, university teacher, and I retired and was in a complete dream for a few months, didn't know what had hit me at all. And then I started to recover and realize that I'd still got the whole of my life ahead of me. And what was I going to do? So from being an academic and a teacher all my life, really, I was looking for something quite new. And the first thing that came to my mind was that I wanted to be a millionaire. And I always struggled for money as a teacher. You know, we work 5 times harder than we're paid, usually, if we're conscientious. And I realized I wanted unbound access to money. So I typed into Google millionaire mentor, and I found a mentor immediately. And I was with him for a year. He's a multimillionaire, actually. And I learnt all of the skills, marketing skills, all of the millionaire track skills from him. And my life completely transformed. And that's what I do now. I mentor millionaires. So amazing mindset shift. Thank you.
And everything started from bravery. Yes, just to allow yourself to think big, much more than your current circumstances were. And from vision, it came to reality. Thank you for sharing, Lyndon. Annelie?
Oh, thank you. I was thinking about your question quite a while, and I don't recall any particular moment. I had so many, and I started early. I remember even in kindergarten, what I wanted to do more than anything was to be a good kid and help someone. And this theme just went through my entire life, and I had a most interesting life journey with many ups and downs. And whenever I had a very big challenge ahead of me, that's when another transformation happened, then another one and another one. And it has been an ongoing process for me, not just one individual event. One of the bigger ones was just last October when I got very, very ill. And I realized that I need to make some changes again. And I let go of many obligations and focused more on the things that bring me joy. And what brings me joy is still working with people as a therapist, as a coach, as a mentor, as a teacher. That's what I do. So that's really my answer to your question.
Yeah, thank you so much. It resonates with me so much. I also remember myself from early days when I always wanted to help people, to teach people, I had so much love for everyone. And thank you for being with us. Vangelis.
Yeah, when I was growing up, everyone had all these formulas and processes and procedures. And even when I got into the technology world, I wasn't very fond of them because those things were created and probably worked maybe just for that moment in that context, in that environment, for that particular situation. And I always kept hearing the phrase, trust the process. And it took me decades to finally realize why I was always a little frustrated, because it wasn't really what I felt like doing. And until I finally broke out and said, can I do it my way? That's when things changed. Because listening to people is great and you get advice. And then whatever, and they use the word resonate, whatever resonates with you, you can tell if something just doesn't feel right. I mean, when you talk to a lot of these very, very successful people, they'll say, I use my gut. Well, don't you look at statistics? Yeah, but I make my final decision by how I feel. That was a huge change for me. Thank you.
Yeah, feelings is the secret, according to Neville Goddard. Great, thank you, Ricky.
And again, I want to echo what everybody is saying here. It's just an honor to be among such brilliant minds and brilliant souls that have been touched, and that you're all sharing that wisdom business-wise and elsewhere. For me, it was realizing that we're all here for a purpose. And it's a term that is being hit here a lot today, and that's to help. That's what it is for me. And that's how I got that nickname, America's Friend, because I will just help anyone. Yes, I make billion-dollar brands, but I will stop on the street and give advice to a small business owner. So I have been and continue to be the spokesperson for products. And it's been these huge products that I can go through your houses and point out products that I've named based on keywords to make you buy it. But that's about money. We need money to make the world go round. For me, it's about helping people. And so now what I do is I do those endorsements, the value of the Ricky Lee Travolta name onto small businesses where the people matter, where I'm putting my name out there, and it's the people, the small businesses who are committed to things that are going to answer that and represent that. And so for me, it's the purpose of helping and realizing that it's not about making money and being a millionaire sitting alone in a house counting money all alone. I would much rather be hanging out and touching people and getting something out of it. I have a term. I let the accountants take care of money, and it's going to get steered to good causes. I get paid in the smiles I put on people's faces, and that's what drives me.
Thank you so much. Christine?
Yeah, thanks, Elena. When I was a kid, I always felt that I had something important to do. I didn't know what that was until later on, much later on in my life. And I embarked on a music journey, and that brought me back to what I had done 10, 15 years, 12 years before. And I'd done that for 20 years. I had a wellness business. And I had to close the doors on that business because I couldn't sell it. I was the business. And just 2 years ago, I realized that after having a coach, that I could actually continue on my wellness business that I had previously. And I could couple that with the music that I had gotten into. And when I realized that I could actually continue on with the goals that I had way back then, that was the moment that I realized this is my purpose. And I'm on my path. The second I knew that I was on my path, there's no stopping me. That was the shift that I needed. And this is my time to do the things that I want to do to help people. And so I'm focused, I'm empowered, I'm really keen and excited.
Yeah, it's
Thanks,
great.
Elena.
Yeah, great to find your burning desire. Yeah, when you get your burning desire, this is how all dots start connected. Yes, and we have also Daniel Daniel will finalize this question and we will move forward.
Yeah, so I had been in sales and management for over 30 years, and it was nice, but something was missing. And a few years back, the shift was when I started listening to some coaches talking. I had never had the opportunity before. They were talking about the mindset, about the brain, how it works. It kind of talked to me because I realized that I had been coaching people all my life without putting a label on this, always trying to have people, getting the best out of themselves, thriving and really having the life they wanted. So at that time, I thought, wow, this is really what I want to do. This is what I want to dedicate the rest of my life to, is helping people. It's doing something which is above myself, but really helping people with this beautiful transformation. And particularly with one thing in mind is I realized that what people are missing in our very interconnected society, they're missing the opportunity to be understood, to be seen, to be heard. So for me, the idea is not about me, it's about giving space. I would call it sacred and safe space for people to be able to express themselves. And already that, I can see, it's the beginning of a transformation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for your answers. So we are moving now to second question in this segment. How do you maintain clarity and focus when facing uncertainty or setbacks? We have Dr. Annika for this. Oh, you are muted. Please unmute.
Sorry. As I said in my introduction, I had a tough time, or kind of an odd time, to figure out what is a business, from coming from a tax-paid system, because everything is in there, so you don't have to think. So I had to start to think, and that made it uncertain, and I had a lot of setbacks in the beginning. So I started to maintain my clarity and the uncertainty, for the uncertainty, by making notes. So I keep making notes, updating the time and whatever is said by somebody, and then I can go back to them and scribble more and go back and see what happened, if things are getting worse, or if also when it's success. So I use the method of having a book to actually note what I want to remember. And that helps me, and it has helped me a lot of times when people say that, oh no, that happened or that happened. And I say, no, I know exactly what happened because I have it written down. And I do that also with good things. So it's not just for the tough stuff, but I keep this book where I keep track of my life, in my business life. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, Lyndon.
Hi, yeah, like Dr. Annika, I do the same thing. I have a book and I write everything down, and I keep really track of things. But apart from that, also, I really believe in flow. This is a big thing now in entrepreneurship, flowing on. And so, yeah, I am a river. Yeah, I'm not by a river or over a river. I am a river and I flow on. Now, I've taken this from my spiritual training as a Buddhist. We are all rivers flowing onto the ocean. And so in full flow, a river can rise above anything. And so I really feel that any obstacle, any setback I come across, I just flow over it. Of course, I write down what I'm learning from it and all of that in an intellectual way. But in a spiritual, emotional way, I just keep flowing because I know my mission is authentic. so I can really just keep flowing on. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It reminded me Bruce Lee when he said that to be like a water. Yeah, be like a water. Water can take the form of every vessel it is put in. Great. Parveen?
Thank you. For me, I would say when uncertainties face us and challenges face us and there are setbacks, it's time to be still. It is the time to just sit back from whatever is happening in front of you, step back from it, and really sort of go into that space of silence. Contemplation is really sort of something that can help us to really look at things when we close our eyes, we breathe in a certain manner, and we go into this gentle space. We can then see the wood for the trees. And as I was doing my daily practice this morning, I was closing my eyes and I could see 3 cities. I could see Paris, I could see London, and I could see New York. Because the mission that I am on, it's so huge and I can't do it all by myself. And I need people to help me. And I realized as I was doing this practice this morning, and it just clearly in my view, as I'm a visionary anyway, I could see these cities and the world is waiting for this, and it's about time that we took AOT out to the bigger audience, the bigger world, who could really see for themselves when they use it, what the vision really is.
Yeah, great. Yeah, vision of driven entrepreneurs. Ricky?
I always want to echo everything everybody says because you're all so brilliant and you're like right coming out of my mind. But is it Paveen? Exactly what you were saying. Now, first of all, the first thing that brings me clarity is, for me personally, it's prayer. And I believe everybody can have their own beliefs. Even not believing is a belief. I respect everybody. For me, I believe in prayer. And that brings me to the realization that you can't do it alone. It requires teamwork. If my ability is being a spokesperson and creating marketing campaigns, is the best use of my time being a single owner, having to spend my time fixing the toilet because I don't have a plumber? No, because then I'm not focused on what makes a success. Teamwork is everything. And whether it's an entrepreneur coach helping somebody, that's teamwork, or networking a group of small businesses or departments within a company. It's all teamwork. And then bringing that back to prayer, for me, it's not about praying that God comes down and fixes my toilet. It's about praying that other people are going to come into my life or anybody's life and we work together. And so that's kind of how I stay focused.
Thank you so much, Ricky, for sharing. Annelie?
Thank you. I need stillness. As Parveen said, this is my first go-to place. And I need to be away from, my husband, whom I love very much, from anyone. I just need to sit quietly, usually do that in my living room. And then I'm starting to ask the question, what is going on right now? What's happening? And I then start to analyze what are the different elements, aspects of what's going on. And my next thought is, what is for me the loving thing to do? And my third one is, where do I go now? How do I live life in this situation to the best and fullest? I've come up with an acronym that I have written about during a project that I was involved with recently about writing a book with 22 other entrepreneurs, a book of hard knocks. And we were invited to summarize in maybe an acronym something. And for me, it was TLC. So on the periphery, it looks like, tender loving care. But for me, it's truth and really asking the question, what is happening right now, including what am I doing right, what am I doing wrong? And then the L is for love, and the C is for carpe vitam, which was live your life fully now. And I can say a lot more about these three things than I'm just doing. It's much deeper, much richer, much more comprehensive. But this has been helping me as a reference, as a guideline, as a framework to move through times that are extremely challenging. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Alan?
Thanks, Helena. I'd just like to mention in the context of major projects, which is the sort of background I'm going to quote from, the main thing is to keep clarity about what the problem is and to find alternative solutions and then to find a way forward. Now, usually you don't have a lot of time for these sort of things, so any decision is better than no decision, because you don't want to be telling people to wait, because usually you've got a lot of designers and contractors collaborating on a major project. You might have perhaps thousands of people involved in a major project, which is happening in one country, and the suppliers and the various designers are in other countries as well. So what you haven't got is the luxury of time, but what you must keep is clarity about what the problem is and focus on the right decision to solve that problem as expeditiously as possible. So I also keep a book, and I'll just very quickly give an example of where a book record, which I kept a diary of what happened on a particular project over 3 years. And the setback that happened for the client was that the contractor made a claim against the client for a massive amount of money. And the diaries that I'd kept day by day of what the discussions were and why certain decisions were made was actually very valuable when it came to going to court in the International Court of Arbitration in London. So it's all to me about keeping clarity and communication with people about what is to be done and why it is to be done. Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Daniel.
So for me, when clarity is not there, I take a step back as well. Like Pavin was saying, really kind of meditate. And first is about remembering why I do this. What's my mission? And this is really, I'm here to help people. It's not about my problems. It's about others. And then it's the way I'm looking at difficulties. It's really now I look at them as opportunities. First, everything happened for a reason. So why is it there in my story? And how can I learn from that? How can I deal with this on a positive way? And I realized that in my life, a lot of what I thought were setbacks actually were just an opportunity to go to the next level. And when I reflect back on the past, and this gives me the strength to move forward, and really always with this goal in mind, helping people living the best life they can.
Yeah, great. This is why you are here. Yeah, why we're all here. We have common between all of us. This is passion to help people because we love people and we want to bring the best. Christine?
Yeah, going back about 7 years, I wrote a song, and it was called I'm a Woman on a Mission. And there's a line in that says, no roadblock will stop me. There's always a way around. And that is kind of how I am and always have been, I guess, that anything that presents a setback or uncertainty, I step back and I guess I disassociate from it. And I'm impartial. I'm not subjective. I'm objective. And in that way, I can make better decisions. And I pray as well. because that always helps, because it helps me to be still. It helps me to be at peace. And that's how I make my best decisions. You know, and even if you make a mistake, doesn't really matter, because everybody makes mistakes and you learn from that and you move on from that. And so that's how I like to look at things, with a positive mindset, and I look for solutions. I don't dwell on the problem. And I think that's the best way to handle uncertainty and setbacks.
Yeah, the attitude of winner. Yeah, winner's attitude and ability to be detached from current situation and connect to the vision. Yes, stepping out of comfort zone and act from the vision, from wish fulfilled. Great. And we have Rich. Rich, you're muted. Yeah.
I'm not muted anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. So I live in a world where people who hear me speak or find me go like, I just need some clarity. It's a very common phrase. I've been doing this for 20, I just need some clarity about my brain, or like where this goes from here. Like, I know I'm not done, but I just need some So I live in a world where people are looking for clarity, speaking that they need clarity. So that's my preamble. So I'm going to set that aside for a second. I'm going to say probably the most important thing, and your question was, how do you maintain clarity when you have setbacks? If the clarity isn't there in the first place, it's hard to maintain it. So when the work that we do here helps give people so much clarity that everything they say and do aligns with the impacts they clearly want to make, and that's the clarity that was missing. So as an NLP trainer, and I don't train NLP, but I have the certification to listen better as a coach. The first thought when there's a setback is adversity is not to define us. Adversity is to strengthen us. It's not what happens to us that's important in life. It's how we choose to respond to it. When we have clarity, it's way easier. When we don't, I watch people shift direction and it's back to will, somehow they're in their own way. It's like, okay. And so first, just realize adversity is your friend. It is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to build character, to refocus on clarity if there is clarity. Or maybe it can be a wake-up call that you need to ask, Lord, what is your will for my life? Many of us don't. Those of us who do have a great advantage. We're all here for a reason, and our businesses might not be why we're here. Yeah. So if we can build these beautiful businesses with coaches and processes, it gives us a platform that makes it much easier to step into our purpose. So don't let adversity define us. And if you feel like there's no clarity, that's a sign it's time to go inside and ask yourself, if I could just picture what it looks like when I'm absolutely thriving and everything is working, what am I doing? And ask your heart to give you, whom do I clearly see impacting, and what are those impacts? That's a start of clarity. Because there are often two kinds of clarity, and I'm sorry, sounds like I'm on a podcast. Two kinds of clarity are often missing. the focus on what the impacts you want to make are, and the way you say, hey, to somebody that you know you want to help, this is what I see for you. The words, the picture after that are huge. Those two pieces of clarity are often absolutely missing. And big brands, small brands, it's entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, big companies. Yeah. But don't let the adversity define you. It's not there for you. It's there to strengthen you. Yeah. Now you're on mute.
You're mute, Elena.
I've always wanted to say that to a host. No, I'm sorry, Elena.
The ball was on your side, yeah? Yes, everything what happens for us. And when we have this attitude to embrace challenges, we can see that it is not against us. This is given because we can overcome this. And it is exactly what will make us stronger, what will make us grow and become the person who we're meant to become. Yes, great. And I see Ricky. Ricky, do you want to also share?
I would just love to jump in there. That I mean, everybody. I just want to follow up on everybody because they're so brilliant. But Rich, you're exactly right. It's focusing on the goal and realizing what the goal is, whether that's business to achieve it or what your goal in life, your purpose from God, and not to make money, but to you do something with that money. And that's what I'm all about, and that's what I help people do, and that's just brilliant. And one of the things that we're doing, I also produce TV, film, music, podcasts. I would hope to interview everybody on this panel individually so that you can share that wisdom even further and get that message out. And yes, create revenue streams for yourself that hopefully you could steer into good things, but really just get the message out, and then we'll use those to raise revenue to help people. And now shut up.
Yeah, focus on the value, right? And according to the law of compensation, everything else will follow. Focus on value which we can provide. And this is why we're here, because we have that value and we are willing, yes, we have patience to share it with the world, because everyone has the right to be successful, to be healthy, wealthy, happy. And we who cracked that code, yes, we are happy to share, because we cannot put the candle with the light under the table. Yes, when everyone who puts the candle, lights the candle, bring it on the table, bring it to light, to be light of the people. And I really appreciate everyone who joined the circle, because you are this light. And when we are together, like those batteries, yes, when batteries are together, they have so much energy and they can get even more results than when batteries are separate. That is why I really appreciate everyone from you who joined the circle, for your passion, for your love, for your wisdom and knowledge. And what you share here is priceless. So let's go to the next segment. Our next segment is inner strength and resilience. And we will have two questions. What practices have helped you build emotional resilience as a leader? And we will ask Dr. Annika.
Yes, resilience. I think that I was born resilient because I've always had this kind of feeling of this resilient feeling all my life, I think. And well, you can see it as a joke, but I think there is something that comes from my upbringing. What I do now is to help people with it, is to try not to answer things straight away or act right away. I think before I do or say anything, and I've learned that silence is stepping in, is a good thing for my brain to think it over, and it's also good for the person who is listening, so that you don't rush things over and over again, and that helps me to stay calm even in tough moments. And I also think that makes me a better leader. And since feelings and actions, they are contagious. So what I do when I do it in a kind way, I spread calm to the other people around me. And I want to tell you that you need to be careful of what you send out, because that's going to affect the people that you are sending it to. And you want them to be in a good mode. So be careful. Thank you.
Yes, it definitely will affect people, and also it will affect you, because the energy which you send outside to the world will come back. Yes, will come back in multiple times bigger. That is why it is so important to forgive. Yes, to forgive and love, because we are aware of our energy and we want to make sure that we send only beautiful, good, loving energy to the world, because this is what we want to receive back. Great, Pavin.
Thank you. So resilience is, I would say, almost like my middle name. It's something similar already that's been spoken about. So I would say resilience and emotional resilience, I have to go into my daily practice to keep my resilience even in the times that we're living. But over the last decades, I would say, Rich was saying earlier about adversity. We do not want adversity to shape us, but we want to use adversity for our advancement to help humanity. That's how I see adversity. It's a learning journey. And I think when we look at the learning journey that we've lived so far, what can we do with that resilience to turn it into power? And that power that we've got in our hands, we can help other people when they're going through their adversity times or their obstacles. It could well be, for example, they needed the emotional resilience. So emotional resilience for me is in the practice that I've been using for the last 20 years. It's there for people who are going through emotional stuff, should we call it. They will need support from coaches and entrepreneurs who are already doing this sort of work in the fields that we're doing it in, even though we were talking about property earlier, or whichever trade a person is in. They're always going to have some sort of a coach or a mentor that can help them when they're in trouble or when they can't get through something. So resilience is something that I feel from 50 years of my life, I would say, has been really tough times, but I've also looked at it in my recent years emotionally. Actually, now I am here to serve others because of what I went through, and I won't hold it as a barrier or an obstacle anymore. And I never did in a big way anyway, but it's a learning journey. And we use that emotional resilience to move forward so that we can serve others. I know my mission here is to do the will of God, and I'm here to serve humanity and to bring that healing that is required. And we need so much of it right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Pavin. It's so great to have you in our circle. Will?
Yeah. So what practices have helped me build emotional resilience as a leader? Lots, right? In the media, when when you're grabbed by the gorilla, like that, I can always call my coach. Hey, I'm messed up right now. I need to get myself back on track and get to, the source of it. Like, what happened? When did this thing happen? What? And then you get to the actual moment, and it's usually not about what's actually happening in the present moment. It's that it's connected to something in the past. And once you make that connection, the present day thing is just what it is. It's not this big drama. It's not this big difficult thing. So being able to get back to make the connection back to what this is triggering gives you a lot of strength in the moment to deal with powerfully what it is that you're dealing with. So I would say that's the first thing. And then the second thing, ongoing maintenance of my integrity. So making sure that I'm up to date with payments, making sure I'm up to date with communications, make sure I haven't walked over things or I've gone back and got things complete with people so that I haven't got loose ends. I'm just whole and complete myself. And when I'm not, I'm gettable. When I'm not, I can get my buttons pressed, So those two things really.
Thank you, Vangelis.
in the technology world, whenever there's an issue, people just immediately take action because that's what they're told to do. And sometimes they would call me after a day and some of these companies make $1 million an hour, some of them $1 million a minute. And I would say, well, what were you trying to fix? And they're working on something. And I said, well, let's find out what's not broken. And we find out that they've been working on stuff that's not where the problem is. And so it's, yes, you want to take action, but find out what's really going on. And then when I started doing my personal inner work, one of my mentors said, so what do you do when you have a challenge? And I said, well, I do these things because this is what I was taught. And she said, you're ignoring what's happening. You're trying to feel good. Find out what's happening. So it's the same thing in the business world. You want to fix stuff right away. Yes, but now I look and find out, well, there's a reason that my soul wanted me to direct my attention to this. And if I just try to feel good right away, listen to music, dance, or whatever people tell you to do, breathe or what, now I can just say, okay, let me step back and really look at what's happening, because there's a reason my soul has directed my attention to this. So resilience is when I spend my energy on what's actually there in front of me, where I allocate my time, where I allocate my attention and my focus, because now I've got the energy to actually go through whatever's in front of me. I don't want to go around it. I want to go through it because there's a reason. Just like in the technical world, they want to go around. No, let's find out what's really going on. And maybe we might spend 10 minutes looking at it and then 5 minutes fixing it, or an hour fixing it, and it's still in the same scenario. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, Annalie.
Yes, thank you, Vangelis. You said it beautifully. And also, Parveen, what we do for ourselves and as coaches and therapists, which I am also, is to focus and trigger this question in our clients. What does your soul want? What is your bigger reason? What is your overall drive that sustains you? Resilience is a subject that is absolutely huge, but it can be distilled down to something very basic. What is your relationship to your life, to your world, with your overall being, which we refer to as God? What is it that sustains you, that drives you now? What is in your highest, best interest? What is your highest, best goals? These are the questions we are asking and ponder. And if we follow those, if we stay with our clients and with ourselves with those questions, we build over time this knowledge that harmony exists, that evolution is going to the best possible place, regardless of what it all looks like right now worldwide. There is a knowing that we can acquire individually that cannot be disputed, that cannot be destroyed by anyone else. There are different layers of faith, from maybe there's a God to, yes, I know there is one, to really knowing there is something that is driving the overall good on this planet and the universe. And this deep knowledge is something that no one really can take away from us. And I see our job as leaders and as coaches, as therapists, as friends, to ignite that inner knowledge in people and to walk through and help them walk through their own resistances. And then resilience actually occurs as a process, as an ongoing process of inner strength. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Annalie. Ricky?
Again, wow, I just want to jump on everybody's comments. Resilience. Okay. For me, Paveen, you mentioned 50. My Lord, you don't look it. You are just absolutely stunning. But resilience, I survived a lot. My father is he's a convicted sex offender who really likes children. And we'll leave it at that. And I survived that. I'm the son of literally a Nazi from the Nazi party and a Jewish woman. And so I went on a very unique and long spiritual journey to get to a place of peace and happiness, and still a journey. We're always on a journey. Once we think we've achieved everything, that's when we stop learning. So it's always going to be a journey. But what I focus on is turning tragedy into triumph. And that's resilience. And so for me, it can't be condensed. It can't be condensed. You can't take Hamlet, a 3.5-hour play, and condense it down into 2 minutes. And so for me or anyone here to help an individual out there, our viewers, the people that we're trying to help, it takes individual communication, time to talk, to get to know people's stories, to figure out how we can help. And that's where I always encourage people to reach out to me. I don't want to just put out a newsletter or a blog or a video. I want to connect to people. And I use a special email for that. And it's success@celebrityendorsements.us. That's one of the companies, it's celebrityendorsements.us. But we have a special email for that. That's success@celebrityendorsements.us, so that people can get in touch, and that anyone on the panel or anyone listening to help with resilience, to help with turning tragedy into triumph, to help with the spiritual journey, and to help each other be successful.
Thank you so much, Ricky, for sharing. So we have Christine and then Rich.
Yeah, resilience. For me, resilience is maintaining my energy levels. It's bending in the storm, to stand up again, to be there, focused on what I'm doing, on my path, heading in the right direction. That is what resilience means to me. And to maintain that and build that, there are a number of things I do. One is I have a belief in myself that what I'm doing is right. God put me on this path. I know there's been a few times when there were challenges when I doubted that and said, what have you done to me? But, I've come through those moments, and I know now, there came that time when I realized my path. So I'm on that path, and I have a vision of what I want to achieve. I have this powerful vision, and I have my big goals, and they are what keep me focused, and that helps to build my resilience. So I have that belief in myself, I have that vision, but I also have to look at my wellness, what I eat, my diet, my routine with sleeping, being physically active, and praying to the Lord my God. So all of those things add to my resilience.
Thank you, Christine, for sharing, and Rich.
Wow, when you ask about sources of resilience, I immediately thought of clients. One of the earliest clients created a brand called 7 Generations of Resilience. She came out of the foster care system. Chinese in a Latino neighborhood. It was absolutely messy. And listening to her perspective helped me understand the word resilience from the inside out. One of the books we published was for a woman who had been sexually abused as a child. She published a book on incest called The Ugliest Word. Another woman published a book called The Secret You Hide Holds You Back, because she had been holding herself back for years, and helping her write that book, again, gave me understanding of resilience from the inside. I'll say there are some things that happened in my life that gave me resilience, like playing in a rock band. I got that out of my system. Okay. Thank God, because you know, people who were playing in garage bands at 50 and 60 playing heavy metal, like, that is not me. I'm over it. It was Crosby, Stills, and Nash and Young Kids back in the 70s. I'm done with that. Yeah. Thank goodness. And no disrespect, Christine, I love what you do, and it's wonderful that you are back. Raising 2 teenage boys. Are you kidding? Okay, that's a source of understanding resilience, because look, they both are Eagle Scouts, and I thought, haha, we're done. Wrong-o. Okay, seriously. Okay, being married for 49 years, coming up this December, and 54 Valentine's Days, I think more than anything else, has helped me build emotional resilience. And learning too late in life to read the book of Proverbs early. They wrote it for a reason. When we don't read it, it can't help us or guide us. The other client I thought of was a woman whose brand is called Money, Truth, and Life, and she talks about creating a multi-generational legacy. When you focus like that on creating a multi-generational legacy, and all of us are talking about how we help our clients focus and step into purpose, and it's tough to lose it's tough to get off track when you've got multiple generations of your family creating a 200-year legacy for your family. So that thought, again, planted seeds of we get to be resilient. It's a personal choice. Praise God.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. We are moving to the next question. Yeah, we have many questions still, so let's go. Next question is, how do you handle fear or self-doubt when taking bold steps forward? Daniel.
When it happens, I remember, that, where does fear come from? Fear is something that, we learned, from our parents, from, when we were kids. And basically, fears are a way for a brain to protect us. Don't do anything, don't move forward. But then I remember as well that every time that I really had a big step forward, it was when I took a bold step. So now, instead of asking the question, what can go wrong? What about asking the question, what about if it goes right? What about if we've got all the success? And then afterwards, trusting ourselves that anyway, the only thing we can do, we can only control what we do in the present moment. So having fears about what's going to happen, it doesn't bring anything. Now we do things now, and then we know as well what can we control, what we can't control. We know that we cannot control the outcome. We don't know. But if we give it our best shot, we go for this, everything's possible. And my motto is never give up.
Great. Never give up. Yes. Will.
Yeah, so I have a practice to deal with fear when it shows up, and and I got it from a man called Christian Mickelson. So it's called the peace process. So basically, it's not mostly what people are afraid of is not the thing. They're afraid of feeling those feelings of fear. So we don't want to feel that. We don't want to feel it, So we try to avoid it, push it down, distract ourselves, avoid the thing, because we don't want to feel that way. So in the peace process, what you do is actually tune into the feeling and really feel the feeling and consider it healing something from the past, some trauma stuck in your body from the past that gets re-evoked, it gets reactivated with whatever's presenting itself in the present moment. So I've been doing this for a number of years, and I tested it out to the extreme. I was in Cabo, Mexico, and I was at this adventure park, and everyone said, "Okay, what's one thing you want to do?" I said, well, "I've done everything, but I haven't done a bungee jump. It's just like the only thing on my thing that I've never done." And this guy pops up, goes, "Great, we're doing a bungee jump then." I was like, "Okay, I guess I just said it." But then I contextualize it. This is an opportunity to really test out this fear thing, right? Really, because I'm afraid to go and do this bungee jump. And, you know, there's every part of it, getting on this little track thing to go out to the middle of the canyon. I'm like feeling all this fear, and I'm just like feeling it, right? And waves of fear, and just feeling it, and then keeping moving forward. And as I got to the main thing, and I'm sitting there, and then start to get afraid that I'm going to faint, and then they won't let me do it. And I didn't really want to do it, but I now was in the middle of this thing. And every time the fear came up, I let myself feel the fear. And I knew that when you go 1, 2, 3, I had to jump. I couldn't go 1, 2, 3. Hold on a minute. Let me just, no, if I do that, the switch in the brain's going to go off, and then it's not happening. So it's got to be 1, 2, 3, jump. So, you know, I was doing all this fear stuff. And then my friend said, just scream. If you scream, it helps. I went, okay. So it's 1, 2, 3, ah. And as I dived out, my hands were out like this. And it's like as if I'm trying to grab something, and I'm now falling through the air, right? And there's nothing to grab. And then I was screaming, and I just started stopping screaming. As I stopped screaming, it's like the thoughts were all coming in. I went, no, 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 no. Ah! Pushed them all away. See, once you get to be able to be free with fear, it's just what's happening. It's just a feeling. Then you can learn to, without pushing it down, just experience it and free yourself from the resistance to it. So fear is what it is. It's just there when it is. We don't have much control about when it comes in. It comes in. And rather than resisting it or trying to come up with some strategy to cope with it, how about you open up to it and actually feel it completely? Because at some point it's like effervescent. It just all disappears. There's none left. And you've just healed something that could be deep stuck in there that you didn't realize was there. So that's how I handle fear in my business, in moving forward, and in life.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. It reminded me how I went for the training, and part of the training was working on the coals. And when you see these coals, which are red, which is temperature more than 800 degrees, and which they're only just taken from the fire, and you know that you have to go. Initially, I thought I just going to watch. But then when you're already in the process, then you somehow condition yourself that this is other people do this, so you can do it also. And when you overcome that fear, then it gives you such a feeling that you are unstoppable, that there is nothing. You understand that something that was like a wall, like a brick wall, and you went through it, then it just gives you that feeling that everything is possible. It is just euphoria. Yes, Will, I think you experienced that after after that process, you feel so different. You just say like nothing now stops me, because you already don't have those walls in your mind which tell you what you cannot do. Yes, and when you break those walls, everything becomes possible. Yeah, thank you for sharing. And okay, we have Ricky. Ricky.
Fear. I have to give the example of Sir Lawrence Olivier. He is regarded as one of the most respected and greatest actors in history, and yet he would vomit uncontrollably before going on stage. And now we have the Olivier Awards in the UK, in the US, and we have the Tonys in the UK, it's the Olivier Awards. And I was fortunate enough to be affiliated with Titanic, which just won the Olivier Award. And so everybody faces fear, and we get through it. For me, first of all, it's prayer. That helps me. And then that guides me to the fact of it's a point that we've hit a lot. teamwork. That working together, we can achieve things. If you're just in your house praying, that's not going to get the same results as if we work together achieving success. And so that's what I do in business. And I know what I can do. I really suck at phones, but I'm really great at marketing. I mean, Steve Jobs, CEO of Apple, called me personally to tell me I was a marketing genius. David Olenowitz, billionaire venture capitalist, I made him a #1 home improvement brand. Jerry Goldman, senior executive VP at Paramount Studios, called me a genius. I'm never going to call myself that. I don't have the ego, but these people recognize it. And I didn't achieve the things that made them say that by myself. I achieved the things that made them say that by working in teamwork. And it all comes to overcoming fear that I could do it. I could do it. Just like Sir Lawrence Olivier. Just do it.
Yeah, thank you, Ricky. Just do it. Yeah. Dr. Annika. Oh, sorry, Annelie.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Elena. I would like to deviate a little bit from fear to anxiety because they're different things. So I have a history of anxiety, not clinically anxiety, but I know I get anxious. I got anxious quite easily. And one of the tips I would like to share with our viewers is that something I started probably about a couple of years ago, and I've been getting better at it all the time, and that is when things don't go my way, I say to myself, Emily, it's perfect. There's a gift somewhere, you just don't see it yet. And I know this is a familiar practice to many, but I'm doing it more often. And in the beginning, and it may also happen to the viewers, they say, well, it's nonsense, this is not, it's crap. It's not good. It's no gift. But after a while, it really is interesting, and it's not often immediate. Sometimes you're saying, oh my God, I just avoided that accident, or something other than was not in my best interest happened because just that delay on the traffic, or I had to wait for a long time for my doctor's appointment. Whatever it is that doesn't go my way as I think it should be, I've become really good at it and say, Emily, it's all good. It's all good. And it really works. It really works. I would highly recommend it. We just need to have that faith and trust. And what you were saying, Reiki, is also something I do very regularly. I have regular conversations with my spirit guide. And in very tough cases, I communicate with what I understand God is to be. But my spirit guide is like my pal who knows me intimately, and he walks next to me, and I have this dialogue and that reinforcement, and it's all good. I just wanted to share that. I know it's very personal, but you invite us to do that, Elena, with your questions. So we learn a lot about each other and share also practical things that viewers might take to heart and experiment with. So thank you for bringing up this question, Elena.
Yeah, you're welcome. We still have many questions, and still I see hands up, Christine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I see two different types of fear. So there's fear that's based on a dangerous situation or an unknown situation. So, if you don't understand what it is, like Daniel said, it's a protective mechanism to stop you from putting yourself in a dangerous position. But then there's an irrational fear. So there's no real basis for it. You're just fearful. And so to deal with the one that is a real fear about an unknown situation, well, how do you deal with that? You learn about the situation, don't you? You find out about it so that then it is not unknown anymore, and therefore you don't have to be fearful of it. And so then with an irrational fear, that's a bit different. That's probably a bit harder to deal with. And I mean, Elena said, and somebody else, I forget now, but they said that, you can, oh yeah, I know who it was, Mr. Reed. And so, yeah, you can push yourself to do something like bungee jumping or walking over hot coals. But it's knowing that it's been done before, so you can do it. And it's just pushing that fear aside. And once pushing through that definitely empowers you. So anyway, there's my couple of tips on fear.
Christine, yes, and I also want to share, just today I was reading chapter 15 from Think and Grow Rich, one of my favorite books. And this chapter is called How to Outwit the Six Ghosts of Fear. And what Napoleon shared here is regarding fear is following. Fears are nothing more than states of mind. One state of mind is subject to control and direction. It means that we can direct our thoughts to the place where we want to be. And what helps me to handle fear or self-doubt is that I trained myself to not putting any attention to obstacles. They don't exist for me. It is just a game. Yes, I see the obstacles and it doesn't matter for me. I focus on what I want. If something happens that I don't want, I reject to accept it. I just look for the way how I can overcome it and focus on where I want to be, and also ability to detach from current situation is very important ability. We can train ourselves to detach from current results, from current situation, and be in our mind where we want to be. And this is what gives us that power and fuel to overcome any challenges and beat the fear, because fear is just in our mind. It doesn't real. Yes, and also as Napoleon says that there are three enemies which we have to deal in on the way to success. And these enemies, they always come together. One is fear, another is doubt, and the third is indecision. So when we learn how to overcome these three friends, this is how we will make our success real. Thank you so much. So now we are already, we are just halfway, and we are already at the end of our panel discussion time. So what we will do, we will meet again, and we will do part 2 of this panel discussion. So we can have plenty of time and everyone can share more. So before we wrap up this episode, just 5 minutes, I would like to share your takeaways, what you took from this panel discussion, because a lot what was shared, and of course we're here to learn from each other. And those who listen to us, we also would love to see your comments, your questions, your feedback, because we want to create so much value that everyone can benefit. So who would like to share aha moments? Yes, Will.
Yeah, I think it was Aniele was she said this thing which kind of stopped me in my tracks is, what does your soul want? I went, oh, that's a really good question. That's very great question. There's nothing to figure out, There's nothing to, it's just like, is it this? No, that's not it. This is not it. What is it? And I have found that when I'm totally in alignment, what we call your intuition, when you really look and like get to what is the answer to whatever it is that's presenting itself, is to sometimes you got to do the I don't know if you know about this, but you do muscle testing, right? Muscle testing, because the mind gets so in the way, you have to muscle test. But really, when you are in touch with your higher power, you're in touch with your truth, then that's the answer. So I really I like the way that was phrased though. What does your soul want? So I'm taking that with me. I'm going to use that.
Yeah, it was powerful. Christine.
Yeah, what I really liked about tonight was that we're all quite different people and we're all from different business niches. But you know what, as human beings, we're all very similar in a lot of ways. And what I really loved is how everybody was vulnerable. Everyone was willing to share, you know, their weaknesses or their challenges and be honest about those things. And just sharing their strategies to overcome those things. And I just loved it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Christine. Dr. Annika?
Well, what I think was important today is to see that you have to get to know yourself first and be true with that. But then when you work with your patient, with your clients, I live in the doctor world sometimes, but with your clients, it's not about me, it's about them. But you have to know yourself to be a good person working with them, because then you're going to be much better to hear what they really need.
Yeah, thank you. Yes. Alan?
Yeah, I'd just like to mention, Elena, about sharing problems and getting counsel from other people in the community. I find that's very powerful. I did it recently in another group that I belong to, and it's amazing the fresh input you can get, whereas you think you may know an answer. When you actually consult widely about the particular issue, you find that gives you food for thought. Possibly other solutions. Thank you.
Yeah, don't be alone. Yeah, don't be alone in your journey, because entrepreneurship can be a very lonely journey when people go through transformation and don't belong anymore to previous group and not still part of the new group. Yes, so reach out, create that space for yourself where you can grow and where you can be supported by other people who believe in you and in your vision. Yeah, thank you. And Daniel?
Well, this was a beautiful, beautiful discussion. And what struck me again, it's really everyone sharing from their heart. It's really from their heart. It's really with this willingness to help, support others. And really a commonality was faith. Faith could be in God, in the universe, in yourself, but really, when we have this faith that really we are there and we can do something, we go without doubts, without fears, just go there.
Yeah, thank you. Parveen?
I just wanted to echo some words here as well, that how unique and individual we are in our businesses. And we've all had some sort of adversity, I'm sure, whether it be fear or, like Dr. Nelly was saying, maybe anxiety. We have come through this really, really strong, and this is such a powerful, powerful session today. I believe this circle of fame is just so powerful. And just want to say a big thank you to Ricky, actually, because some of the things he was talking about today really resonated with me in the way he's formulated things and the way he's out there helping so many people on so many different levels. I can see from what he was sharing is powerful. It's powerful. And I'm sure that every single person in this group, my aha moments were, wow, this is amazing. This is great, because we're all so far in our journey here. As we've learned and grown, this is what I've got from today. We're here, we're doing our best, but we still can have our vulnerable moments. And it's okay, because we're still on this journey of growth. And don't be shy of going on that journey of growth, because it is what it is until, we are no longer needed on this planet. So I'm just very privileged to be in this group with everybody today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Parveen. It is great to have you with us. We're grateful for everyone. And we have Vangelis. Want to share?
Yeah, because we're all connected, when any one of us have a triumph, we all triumph. That's what I get. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. And Annelie?
Thank you. What was going through my mind was, or is, that much of what has been shared here is not really new, but we resonate with it because on a deep level we remember. We remember what is good in life and what's right for us. And that's why these meetings are so important, that everyone who's here and everyone who might be listening out and just say, yeah, I needed that reminder. It's true. That's something I need to embrace with more awareness on a daily level. So I really appreciate that. And this is a beautiful, beautiful service you provide, Elena, and everyone here. Thank you.
Yes, of course, I appreciate everyone here because it is all your input, your contribution, which makes this Circle of Fame so successful and so warm, and place where we really can feel that energy, yes, that love which comes from heart, that passion, and I appreciate everyone. We have also Ricky who want to share his takeaway.
Elena, you pointed out the importance and the brilliance of Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And I have a very personal connection to that. I did the research on with his foundation, had his personal tapes and everything. And I'm hoping to actually work with some people and come out with more books reflecting the things I've learned that aren't out there yet. But you pointed out something very specific with this that we're doing. We ran out of time, and time is realistic. I can make anybody or any company famous, brilliant, successful, but it takes time, right? There's goals, and you have to have the time to listen, to spend with people. And you realize that we weren't going to have the time to fit it all in. So we schedule another event. And so with that, can't condense Hamlet into 2 minutes. I want to spend time with those who are listening, who are watching, who want to learn more, who have businesses you want to form with me, who want to find out more as a coach, who want me to connect you to people that I know. I mean, Steven Adler, I revived his career from Guns N' Roses. I wish Rich was still here. He has that rock and roll background. Anybody can be famous. Anybody can be successful. It's just aligning with the right people. We can't do it all here. So I'm going to cite that email address again. It's success@celebrityendorsements with an S.us. Success@celebrityendorsements.us. And I invite anybody watching for more information. Let's connect. It's all about connection, to learn, to help each other. And maybe we can help each other help the world. And so, Elena, thank you. Oh, everybody here, I can't wait for our next session because I just bask in your knowledge, in your spirits. And I just want to learn from you. I want to do those interviews myself with you on the broadcast we're starting. And just anybody who's watching, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for giving us, but at least me, this platform. And I hope to connect. They call me America's friend, but I'm really a friend to everybody, and I want to help.
Yes, thank you so much, Rick, and everyone who took part in our panel discussion. And at the end, of course, thank for everyone who is listening to us. And I want to encourage you to commit to one new inner practice which you learned today, heard from our experts, that will expand your vision and success. Commit, what are you going to implement from what you learned? And of course, share with us, because we would love to hear from you, have your feedback, to know how we can even improve our panel discussions. I wish all the best and see you in the part 2.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
See you soon. Bye-bye.